Alright, so in this video I wanted to just break down 7 of our key upper body movements. These movements are mostly centered in the chest and the shoulders, but we also have some torso isolations included in this section. So to start out, I wanted to take a look at a couple shoulder movements. So first we'll do our shoulder shimmy. So for the shoulder shimmy, all you're going to be doing is taking one shoulder forward, sliding forward, and the other sliding back in opposition. So right comes forward, left goes back. Left comes forward, right goes back. And it's just this sort of back and forth movement. Sometimes people interpret this as being a chest shimmy, but the movement is not coming from the chest, it's coming from the shoulders. So this is sort of your 4-4 style shoulder shimmy. You can also, much like the hips, turn this into a 3/4 style. So rather than being even 1 e-enda, 2 e-enda, 3 e-enda, 4 e-enda, you would take this as 1, 2, 3, rest, 1, 2, 3, rest, 1, 2, 3, rest, 1, 2, 3, rest. So it's a little like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then a little faster. Very often, this is sort of the classic, I suppose, Fat Chance belly dance style, formerly known as American tribal style 3/4 shoulder shimmy. But either one is available to you. In a similar vein, we also have our shoulder diamonds. So here, you're going to take that same sliding forward and back movement. We'll just start it on the right side and then add the left. So here, you're going to slide the shoulder forward, lift up, slide it back, and drop back down, creating your 4 points, 3, 4. So forward, lift, back, drop. Forward, lift, back, drop. Forward, lift, back, drop. Forward, lift, back, drop. Now, generally speaking, or very often I should say, our shoulder diamonds are also going to be working in that oppositional manner, similar to the shoulder shimmies. So here, we would basically be having the left side doing the opposite of what the right side is doing. So when the right comes up, the left comes down. When the right shoulder comes forward, the left goes back. When the right shoulder drops down, the left is coming up. And then when the right shoulder comes back, the left is coming forward. So it's a 1, 2, 3, 4. Lift, slide, drop, slide back. Lift, drop. Lift, and drop, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. Alright, very nice. So from there, our third movement in this section is going to be your shoulder rolls. So if you have watched the hip isolations breakdowns, this is very similar when we move from like our pelvic diamond into a hip circle. So you're going to take those same 4 points, forward, lift, back, and drop of the shoulder diamond, but you're just going to smoothen it out. So it's going to come forward, lift, back, and drop. Forward, lift, back, drop. Forward, lift, back, drop. Forward, lift, back, drop. Other side, forward, lift, back, drop. Forward, lift, back, drop. Forward, lift, back, drop. Forward, lift, back, drop. Okay, let's try that again, but in the opposite direction, just so we can kind of even that out a little bit faster this time. So we're going to go, so we were going forward first. Now we're going to start in the back and down. Back, lift, forward, down. Back, lift, forward, down. Back, lift, forward, other side. So we're going to the back and we lift, come around. Back, lift, forward, drop. Back, lift, forward, drop. Back, lift, forward, drop, and back, lift, forward, drop. Now let's try that again the first way in opposition. So we're going to roll on the right, roll on the left, roll on the right, roll on the left, roll on the right, roll on the left, roll on the right, opposite direction, forward, 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 forward. Now together, rolling back, 2, back, 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 and forward, 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 forward. Okay, so those are our 3 key shoulder movements for this section. Our shimmy, 4/4 style or 3/4 style. You got your shoulder diamonds and your shoulder rolls. Okay, so from there, let's see. So from there, let's go into our chest diamond. So similarly with our 4 points, like our shoulder diamonds, this is going to pull on 2 movements. So we have a chest lift and drop, which we've kind of broken down in our building blocks, and also, mostly in our building blocks. So you're going to, for a chest lift, you're going to utilize these muscles in the upper back to pull up, and then to drop down, you're pulling on those upper abdominal muscles to bring it into neutral. So it's a lift, drop, lift, drop, lift, drop, lift, drop, and lift, drop, lift, drop, lift, drop, lift, and drop. This is combined with our chest slides. Also, we have a breakdown of this in the building block section, so I would recommend going back to that if you are a little unclear on that. So again, our slide is just going from the right, left on the horizontal plane, like so. And for our diamond, we're just going to put those 2 together. So we'll start on the right, slide right, lift up, slide left, drop down. Right, lift, left, drop down. Right, lift, left, drop down. Right, lift, left, drop down, other way. So left, lift, right, drop, left, lift, right, drop, left, lift, right, drop, and left, lift, right, drop. Now from there, we can take that into our next movement, which is the chest circle. So again, we're thinking about connecting those 4 points along this vertical plane. Just to note also, in the belly dance vocabulary, we have a couple different options for how we want to execute a chest circle. Generally, I tend to lean more toward the vertical chest circle, but we also have the option to do a horizontal, which would be, rather than having that lift and drop, it would be our forward and back slide. So I'm just going to demonstrate that really quick, and then we'll go back to the vertical chest circle. So if you were doing horizontal, you're creating this circle more so on the floor. So we go forward, slide, back, slide, forward, slide, back, slide, forward, slide, back, slide, forward, slide, back, slide. And part of the challenge with the horizontal, I find, is trying to continue to keep your spine stacked and straight even as you're going to the back. So there can be a little bit of a give in the back to kind of close off that circle, but we want to avoid, you know, completely collapsing in the chest like that. Okay, so like I said, most of the time I usually tend to lean more toward the vertical chest circle, so we're just going to practice that real quick. So for this, again, we're going slide, lift, slide, drop, and we're just coming up and around in a circle. And it's very important here that we're keeping the hips and the shoulders to an extent kind of quiet. There can be a little bit of motion going on up here, but we want to avoid having the movement coming from the shoulders. That is an option, that's a stylistic option, but we're just looking at the chest isolation here. And we also want to think about, again, not collapsing in the back, but coming to more of a neutral position and sliding through. All right, so that is your chest circle vertical going counterclockwise, and we'll try it clockwise. Same mechanics, just a different direction. Lift, 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 and lift. Okay, so from here, we also have an option for a chest figure eight. So again, we're thinking about creating sort of two interweaving vertical circles in space in front of us. So for this, you're basically going to be contracting down in this little upper abdomen oblique area, and then thinking about a slide coming up with a lift and then dropping back down on the one side. So it's down, slide, lift, center. Down, slide, lift, center. So that's the one side of the figure eight. From here, we're going to think about that diagonal pathway across the center of the chest, and we're kind of sliding the chest so down to the left, slide out, up, and in. And then we're on this sort of diagonal again, slide the right side down, lift, and in. Slide left down, up, and in, and the right comes down, up, and in. So it's left side, right side. Left side up, slide through the center, right side up. Through the center, left, through center, right, through center, left, through center, right. Now, this is another one where I tend to like to do my chest figure eights vertically, going from down to up, but you can also do it going from up to down. So in that case, you would start thinking about your diagonal, the right side coming up. So up, slide out, drop, and in. So it's this sort of like a more of like a, I think of almost like a waterfall, or sort of like cascading over. So you come up, down, and around. Up, slide, drop, and in. Up, slide, drop, and in. On the left, so we're down, we slide up on the left, drop down, slide up on the right, drop down. Up on the left, drop down, up on the right, drop down. So for me, this figure eight I find much more challenging, and you'll find that also in a lot of these dance moves. There are certain directions or certain sides that feel more natural and more comfortable, and I do find that to find that comfort, it is most of the time just a matter of really drilling, practicing, incorporating it into an improvisational practice. But yeah, just getting comfortable with it in your body. So we have our vertical chest 8s going up to down, or I'm sorry, vertical chest 8s going down to up, and then we can also do it up to down. And there's also the horizontal chest 8 option. Again, I don't commonly use this one as much in my dance, but it is something that is available. So in this case, that diagonal is happening across the horizontal plane. So thinking about twisting the chest forward so that the right is slightly forward from the left. And then you carve your circle sliding out, back, and in. And then the left side comes forward, back, and in. So it's just this very nice swaying motion in the upper body. All right, so let's see, we got, cool. So the last movement that I wanted to take a look at is our torso undulation. So this is a move that, if you recall from our hip series, or hip breakdowns, this is going to basically be the upper body portion that would accompany your pelvic roll, more or less. So mechanically speaking, our torso undulation most of the time is going to start in the chest and go down to the hips. However, we also have a reverse undulation option, which we will also look at in this tutorial. So for our torso undulation from up to down, we're going to think about lifting the chest up, pulling in, tucking the pelvis, and releasing. So it's a lift, drop, 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 lift, drop. And we're just going to smoothen that out and allow the motion to kind of create this wave through the abdominals. And in doing that, we're also thinking about, as the chest is contracting, we're letting that contraction follow through the abdominals. So the contraction is in the chest, upper abdominals, and then as the lower abdominals come in to contract, the upper is kind of coming out to relax into a neutral, and then the pelvic releases. So it's a lift, contract, contract, neutral in the upper, release in the hips. So it's a lift, contract, contract, release. Lift, contract, contract, release. Lift, contract, contract, release. Lift, contract, contract, release. And just to flow with that for a moment, lift, tuck, 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 lift, and tuck. Now just to run through the reverse torso undulation, it's going to start in the hips. So you're going to start with your tuck, then you're going to release forward, tuck in the upper body, and come through to lift to neutral. So it's a tuck, drop, drop, lift. So it's a tuck, drop, drop, lift. Tuck, drop, drop, lift. So we tuck under, employing our pelvic roll here. So we're coming down, contraction in the upper abdominals, coming up into the chest. So it's a tuck, roll, drop, lift. Tuck, roll, drop, lift. Tuck, roll, drop, and lift. Tuck, roll, drop, lift. Now for me, I do find I am utilizing the glutes a lot to really kind of power this motion coming up and forward. You might notice it maybe more in your legs, or maybe it's all down in this abdominal lower core area. So it's a drop, tuck, tuck, lift, drop, tuck, tuck, lift, drop, tuck, tuck, lift, drop, tuck, tuck, lift. Okay, so that is our upper body series.